Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Lee Bowyer's situation, how I feel about it, whether he deserves a new contract, because a lot of that talk's coming up now. He's just passed a year as Birmingham City manager and he's got 1 year left on his contract roughly. Conversations have started to happen. Now I'm going to delve into whether he deserves a new contract, why these conversations are happening. I'm also going to give my prediction for Swansea. I'm going to be brutally honest, it won't be good. Before we get into the video though, just want to say a big shout out to our sponsors over at League of 72. Now League of 72 is a newly launched EFL channel. League of 72 creates weekly EFL content covering the whole 72 from Birmingham to Barrow. They're still a fairly new channel, having only been around since August, but they're hoping to build a community of highly engaged EFL fans over the next few months. So if you do want to check them out, the link will be at the top of my description. Make sure you go over and subscribe. They've got some really good content over there, but let's get into today's video. So I've been having a read through the press conference after the Hull game, the 0-0 draw, and he was asked about his contract situation, Lee Bowyer. Basically, he said, what's there to say about that? Bowyer said, I've got a year left on my contract, but I want to be here long term. I want to be in a position to take the club forward for years to come because, as he said when he arrived, I know how good this place will be when it gets going. So his worry is that he's going to get Blues to a position where they're playing well, they're looking good, they're stable, and then they're going to bring someone else in. Now that would be ridiculous, surely, but I wouldn't put it past our board. You know, someone stabilising the ship, doing a good job, they get sacked. Sort of sounds like what happened to Rowett. However, with Rowett, it was a change of ownership. So it feels like if that was to happen, whether he had a contract or not, that thing would happen again. Now the real question here is, does Lee Bowyer deserve a new contract at Birmingham City? In my eyes, what has he done so far? He's had fairly limited resources to an extent. He saved us from relegation first month or two. This season, yeah, it's been disappointing. We've had, you know, a lot of quality. We've got a lot of quality in this team. Investment, has it gone in the right areas? We seem very attack heavy at the minute and defensively light. Another concern of mine is injury concerns. I don't think we've ever had a situation where we've had so many injuries in a season. All muscle-related injuries, hamstrings, that kind of thing. You know, we just saw Lyle Taylor drop out the squad in the previous game against Bowyer. Same happened with Mengi. So yeah, the injuries are a bit of a worry. And for me, I mean, I don't think there's smoke without fire. You know, I think something's going on. Is he training them too hard? I don't really know. My dog's trying to jump up. Yeah, is he training them too hard? I'm not sure. In terms of his overall management, it does seem like there is a bit of a split opinion amongst Blues fans. It might be 60-40 in Bowyer's favour. I am of the opinion that I want to keep Lee Bowyer, but I wouldn't be rushing to give him a 3-year contract at the minute. You know, there's been situations where he seems to not make the right decision. I know that I've been very guilty of wearing rose-tinted glasses. I do want to see the best in people, especially when they're a Blues manager. Do I want to see us go through a whole other management recruitment process, restarting the cycle again? No, that's my fear. But does that mean that I am giving him a bit too much credit in certain areas? I'm really not sure. I think it's so early still in his time at Blues that I'm happy to give him time. We are in a relatively safe position for this season. The one thing that's disappointed me is the injuries and the transfers. I think there's he has to get to the bottom of this injury problem. Whether it's him, whether it's the sort of staff, physios, I ain't got a clue. But something's different. He's got to get to the bottom of it. That's part of his duties. His players are constantly getting injured, and that has a massive effect on where we finish in the league. If we have big players out for prolonged amounts of time, it's just, you know, simple enough, isn't it? We've hardly been able to have a defence all season. At times we're playing with two full-backs as centre-halves. So that's a problem. But like in terms of signings, we've made good signings, I think, altogether. It's not been he's had 2 transfer windows. Neither of them have been bad. We've replaced players that needed replacing. I can waffle on for ages about the things that Bowyer's doing, right? At the minute, we're not in a good spell of form. We've had 19 points from 69, which isn't a great return. You look at where we are in the league, we seem to always be hanging around, roughly around 18th place, just above the bottom three. Without their points deduction, Derby would be above us, which would put us down into 21st place. Reading with 6 points would be on 36 with the game in hand, potentially just a couple of points behind us. We would be very, very close to the relegation zone. So in a different season, without these point deductions for other teams, I think we'd be a lot more worried about where we currently stand. 38 games played, 41 points. It's not really good enough, is it? Especially with the players that we've got. I feel like in terms of the attacking quality that this team's got, it's the best we've had in quite a while. Obviously, the Che and Duke situation, when them two were playing together, like Che was unplayable, fine. But in terms of the options that we've got a load. Unfortunately, some of our best ones are lone players. But you've got to say, going into next season, when teams aren't going to be having massive points deductions, what do we need to do to stay up? Does he deserve a contract extension based off what he's done so far? My answer is no. I get it, it's part of stabilising, but we need to find a system. I think a lot of the time we sort of lack a real system and way of playing, and I think that is actually deep rooted in the club, in the core of our club. A good manager can change that, and what I will say about Bowyer is he's the first one who's actually started to get rid of some bad apples and try to actually change the team, bring in people who are leaders, new leaders, change the atmosphere of the club. Troy Deeney's one of them. I'm not sure what salary he's on. I know it's massively reduced from what he could have got. Hasn't really played due to injury again. Do you want to pay 10, 15 grand a week for a presence? I don't know, probably not. But that's, again, unfortunate. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think Lee Bowyer's done enough to warrant a fresh contract. There's been too many occasions in the past where we've handed out massive contracts to managers, ended up sacking them, and ended up having to pay it off. And if I was Lee Bowyer, I'd say fair enough. If he does something to prove that he deserves a new contract, brilliant. I'm not saying sack the guy, but currently, in this current situation, why would you give him a huge contract? At the same time, people who want him out, who would you bring in? I'm not saying there's no options, but give me some ideas. The one thing I don't want to happen is this merry-go-round of managers that seems to always happen at Blues. I want stability at least first. And I think we're on the right track. I do think Lee Bowyer is an alright manager. I don't think he's the best. Of course he's not the best. I think he's still learning as well. I'm willing to give him a chance at the minute. I'm willing to see what he does at the start of next season. The one time I will get worried is if we start next season the same way we're playing now. One, let's get to the bottom of the injury problems. Let's start having some sort of real identity to our football and knowing what we're going to do. Being able to change games with the right subs, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I think it's a wise move from our board to not give him a new contract. I didn't realise how dark it was getting until I looked at my camera screen, but wow. Do not film at sunset, get some more lighting, noted. But what do I think is going to happen against Swansea? Really quickly, Swansea are currently sat 15th. That is 6 points ahead of Birmingham City. Swansea have got 15 points from their last 10 games with 5 wins and 5 losses. No draws in Swansea's last 10. Blues have had 2 wins, 3 draws and 5 losses. Away from home, without Lyle Taylor, without Teden Mengi, I'm worrying. Why am I driving over 3 hours to go and watch it? I ain't got a clue. But I hope you watch the vlog. And I hope Blues surprise me. And I hope they surprise you too. Joel Perreault is one to watch out for. And I'm very worried considering our defence. Who are we going to go with? If we ain't got Teden Mengi, I can see us going maybe 4 at the back again. If he wants to play 5 at the back again, which I probably would imagine he would away at Swansea, he's going to have trouble. Michael Obafemi as well. He's scored 6 in his last 9, I think. You know, I had him in my career mode back a day. I know he's a striker and a half, so going to be a little bit worried for him as well. But I think overall, the one thing that worries me more than anything is Blues' motivation at the minute. Even Bowyer said himself after the Borough game, you know, we just rolled over for him basically. It was an exciting first 10-12 minutes, which we do seem to have. We constantly seem to run out of steam straight after that. And that's what worries me. So I think that could be a problem again. I don't see it going well. I think we're going to lose 3-1. I'll be honest. I'll put it straight up there. Hopefully we get a goal because I'm going all that way. But it's Blues. You got to follow them, ain't you? But that's it from me today. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one where I will have a little bit more lighting. I look sort of spooky now. It's like spooky hour. It's like the more I talk about Blues, the spookier it gets, the darker it gets, the dingier it gets. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Keep right on.